Hey guys, it's Tyler Stroik with Universal Rackets, and in this video, we are going to be doing a full masterclass on how to hit a forehand. If you ever want to learn how to hit an amazing drive, an amazing return, or an amazing ground stroke, then this is going to be the only video that you need. We are going to be going over the proper grip, the proper footwork, the proper swing path. We're going to be going over exercises and drills for you to do so you can take your forehand to the next level. So make sure you buckle your seatbelts and stay tuned because this is going to be an amazing masterclass. Let's go. Now, the first thing that we have to address with the forehand is the proper grip. Now, I am not a big grip person. We get a lot of followers, subscribers that ask, hey, what grip should you use? And the answer is not one size fits all. It depends on your wrist flexibility, it depends on your skill level, and it depends on your personal preference. You want to be anywhere between an Eastern to semi-Western grip. And what do I mean by that? Eastern grip, it's tilted a little bit. Semi-Western, it's tilted a little bit more. Essentially, you want to make sure that your paddle face is tilted downward. What you don't want to do is when you make contact, you don't want your paddle face to be open, facing upward. Wherever your paddle face is pointed, the ball is going to go. And what I mean by that is if your paddle face is open at contact, pretend that there's an arrow coming out of it, the ball is going to go up and it's going to go long. It doesn't matter how good your pickleball swing is. If your paddle face is open at contact, the ball is going to go up. You need to make sure that you always keep your paddle face closed at contact. So again, what I recommend is just experiment with the different grips. Go into an Eastern and hit a couple forehands. Go into a Western, into a semi-Western. You don't want to be full Western though, because it's going to be really difficult to get under the ball. And the thing is, the Western grip for pickleball, it is difficult. The number one con about the Western grip is that it's difficult to hit low balls. And with the wiffle ball, it's going to bounce and die down. So essentially all the shots you're going to have is low, and it's going to be super difficult to get under it. The more you tilt the paddle face downward, the more spin you're going to have. The more you open up your paddle face, the flatter it's going to be. If you want to hit tons of top spins, or if you want to eventually take your top spin drive to like a hybrid drive drop, I recommend experimenting with tilting your paddle down more. Basically, the more advanced you get, in my opinion, the more you want to tilt your paddle face downward. And we have this sideways angle so you can see. This ball right here is out, my paddle face is open. I do the same exact swing, now my paddle face is down, this ball is into the court. Again, whenever my paddle face is open, the ball's going up. Whenever I tilt my paddle face down, it's closed, the ball is going to go down into the court. And also, I'm going to be able to create topspin, which is a pickleballer's best friend. I like to say topspin is an insurance policy on every single one of your shots. It gives it a higher percentage chance and likelihood of the ball going in. A ball that hits topspin will go into the court. A ball that doesn't have spin might go long. So that is the first thing, the proper grip. Again, just make sure your paddle is tilted downward and don't think anything else about it. Now, the next thing that we have to go over after we get into the proper grip is the proper swing path. And I want you to think about two things and two things only. Number one, taking your paddle back, and number two, finishing over your shoulder. Again, don't think about anything else. Paddle back, finishing over your shoulder. Paddle back, finishing over your shoulder. When you play pickleball, there are two things you have to do. Number one, you have to hit the ball forward, and number two, you have to hit the ball up over the net. If you want to hit the ball forward, you need momentum. You need power into your shot, and that's why we take a backswing. If you want to get the ball over the net, you have to make sure you follow through. And what I mean by this is think, if I just swing forward, what happens? The ball goes into the net. If I just swing up, the ball's going to go up super high, and my opponent's going to smash down. By having my paddle back, first I get the momentum, and then by following through, I'm going to get the lift to get the ball over the net. Again, Power comes from the backswing. Momentum comes from the backswing. All the gas that you need to go from point A to point B in your car is from the backswing. And then the follow through is going to be what lifts the ball over the net. Now I want you to look at my follow through real quick. When I follow through, where do I end up? I want you to think, look at my paddle. My paddle's here prior to contact. Look at it back here. And then when I finish, is it higher or is it lower than when it started? By following through over your shoulder, it will ensure that you're swinging upward. And in order to get the ball over the net, you have to lift the ball. So by having your paddle back and then finishing forward over your shoulder, now look, I'm automatically swinging upward. I don't have to worry about it. So what I recommend every single pickleballer to start out is just start in the paddle back position and just work on drop feeding the ball, have someone toss you the ball, paddle back, and then again, finish over your shoulder. Paddle back, finish over my shoulder. Once I'm done finishing over my shoulder, there are 3 cues that I can look for. Number 1, touching my back with my paddle. Number 2, my elbow pointing forward. And number 3, my butt cap pointing forward. Again, I can either tap my back with my paddle, point my butt cap forward, or point my elbow forward. Paddle back, finish forward. Paddle back, finish over the shoulder. The next thing I want you to do is, again, really think that you're holding your finish. So if you're going to serve, or if you're going to hit a return, if you're going to have someone feed the ball to you, or if you're going to have yourself drop the ball, you don't even need a ball. You're going to take your paddle back straight behind you, and then you're going to finish. You're going to smile for the cameras, and then you're going to go to the next ball. I don't want you to go like this and then rush, go like this and then rush. You're not going to get it. You need to finish your shot before you go to the next one. It's like you're back at dinner with your parents. You have to finish your plate at the table before you are excused. You have to finish your pickleball shot. Don't give up momentum, control, accuracy, power by not finishing your shot, by thinking so much about the next shot. Until you're done, until you follow through, until you smile for the cameras, you do not go to or even think about going to the next ball. Now again, paddle back, follow through over our shoulder. Now the big thing that we're going to talk about right now is the take back. When you take the paddle back, you want your paddle tip pointed slight bit upward. What you don't want to do, and this is where too many players go wrong and they get taught by certified coaches, but the certified coaches don't have years of racket sports. What do? They start with their paddle down. They start with their paddle down and then they just swing up. Start with their paddle down and then swing up. If I start with my paddle down and I swing up, I have no momentum with my shot. This is why beginners are stuck with their forehand. This is why they can't get to the next level. This is why they look hours and hours and hours on YouTube to try to find this video that's going to teach you how to get this different. Instead of starting with the paddle low, you want your paddle straight back, but notice my paddle tip, it is pointed upwards, a slight bit upwards. It doesn't have to be fully vertical, but think 12 o'clock here, 3 o'clock here, 6 o'clock down here, 9 o'clock here. You want it about, let's say, 2.5 o'clock. You can have it at 3 o'clock, but what you don't want is you don't want it to be lower than that. That's going to help you, and it's going to come in handy later in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. The next thing, when our paddle tip, again, think that your paddle tip's pointing up, and then follow through over your shoulder. The next thing that we're going to think about is where I take the paddle back. I don't take the paddle back here. I don't take the paddle back behind my body. I take the paddle straight back. Now, if you're a kinetic learner, the best drill to do is you're literally going to stand at the gate. You're going to stand right here, and all you're going to do is you're going to take your paddle back and you're going to touch the gate. If you ever feel like you take a giant backswing that you're going back behind your body, or if you feel like you don't have enough of a backswing and you feel like you lack power, go to the gate and just work on taking the paddle back, taking the paddle back. This will ensure that your paddle doesn't go back behind your body. Put your back to the gate and just work on taking it back, following through over your shoulder, taking it back, following through over my shoulder, taking it back. Now I bring it over here. Look, my take back's in the proper position. It's not too far behind. If it's too far behind, I'm going to come around. If it's not far enough, I'm going to have no power. Straight back, think that you're in the 808 Olympics and you're handing the baton to the person behind you in your relay race. Straight back and then over your shoulder. Now, when we take the paddle straight back, and we are going to get you a high level foundation, and many players, they end up blowing their arms out. They end up blowing their shoulder out because they think if they want to hit power, you have to completely use your arm and shoulder. All that a forehand is their arm and shoulder. I want you to think it has nothing to do with your arm and shoulder. It has to do with rotation and acceleration. Rotation and acceleration equals a good forehand. Instead of just using our arm and shoulder, what I want you to do when you're picking this up, instead of just using one half of your body, I want you to get your non-dominant hand involved. By getting my non-dominant hand involved, now my core's involved, I'm rotated. I feel tension in my obliques that now when I swing, I'm able to rotate and use both of my halves of my body instead of just using one half of my body. So when I turn, I want to turn with both hands and really feel tension in my body prior to contact. The best way, the best drill, the best method to learn this is literally, instead of taking the paddle back with your dominant hand, instead of taking your paddle back with your dominant hand, you're going to push your paddle back with your non-dominant hand. So I'm a right-handed player, so instead of taking my paddle back with my right hand, I'm going to push this paddle back with my left hand. Look, I'm going to put my left hand on the throat of my paddle and I'm going to push it back. This is just using my arm and shoulder. This is not a sustainable forehand. This is using both halves of my body. By doing this, by taking the paddle back with this hand, that's going to help me a ton. And if I'm a lefty, I'm going to go like this, right? So a great drill to do is literally take it back with this hand, then you got to drop the ball, so you can only have one ball, but maybe not even a ball. But work on taking it back with this hand, putting this hand on, and then going to swing. Taking it back with this hand, I'm rotated, putting this hand on, and then go to swing. A great way to think of this is when you take the paddle back, you are taking it back with two hands. You're not just taking it back with two hands, you are pushing the paddle back with two hands. Once again, when you swing, you're not taking your paddle back, you are pushing your paddle back. You're pushing the paddle back with your non-dominant hand, which is going to rotate your body, you're going to feel tension, and you're going to be able to hit. Now, after we turn, and I want you to notice not only my paddle, but look at my hips. My hips are facing sideways. I want to make sure that my hips are always facing sideways. Even if I'm hitting an open stance, which means I'm not stepping to the ball, I still want my hips to be facing this way. If my hips are involved into my shot, that's going to ensure that my lower body is in sync with my upper body. A lot of players go wrong because their hips are facing forward and then they're just using their top half, even though that was a good shot, but that's not sustainable. What you want to do, again, is you want to make sure that you turn and really get your lower body. By look at my hips are sideways prior to contact, and then when I finish, my hips are going to be forward. Now, when you take this paddle back, and we're all on the take back, we did the proper grip, we did the take back and the follow through, we're understanding that. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty of step one, which is our take back. And when we take the paddle back, I want you to think that you need to make sure that you take the paddle away from your body. Notice it's not close to my body. If I take the paddle back close to my body, I'm going to make contact close to my body. When you play pickleball, if you're going to hit any type of forehand, you want to make sure that you hit your forehand out in front and away from your body. Once again, when you make contact with your forehand, you want to make sure that you make contact out in front and away from your body. A lot of players, they get jammed, they can't hit a good shot because they take the paddle back super close and then look, they make contact super close. You want to leave distance for the Holy Ghost. You want to space yourself. So now you can make contact out in front and away instead of making contact close. So all you're going to do, again, is instead of having T-Rex arms super close, you're going to push the paddle back, have space, think that you're hugging a tray, you're leaving room for the Holy Ghost, and then what are you going to do? You're going to hit, and hopefully not hit the ball cart, however, that was still in. Now, after our take back, we worked on distance, we worked on having our paddle tip up, we worked on being sideways. Now it is time, right before we make contact with the ball. Again, I said stay tuned because we're going to get into it later in the video. Here we are. After I take the paddle back with the tip up, then what I need to do is drop the paddle tip down. Again, here's where players go wrong, and it's because they get taught by coaches that don't have racket sport knowledge. They take their paddle straight down and then they swing for it. Paddle straight down for it. There's no momentum whatsoever. They're here and then they go. This right here is amazing. If you want someone to learn about just taking paddle back, following through, starting down here is perfect, but you're going to hit a ceiling. If you want to hit any type of harder ball, you're going to destroy your shoulder and it's going to go long. You need to make sure that after you take your paddle back, notice I'm going to drop the paddle. If you're a visual learner, this is the C of the forehand. You're going to take the paddle back, that's the top of the C, then you're going to drop it, it's the curve of the C, and then you're going to swing over your shoulder. You're going to, after you take the paddle back, you're going to drop your paddle. Now notice, with your paddle face, you can think that you're petting the dog. Look at my paddle face, it's going down, I'm petting. So paddle back, here we are, paddle back with two hands, and then look, I'm petting the dog. Look how my paddle face is facing downward, I'm petting the dog. Another thing that you can do is think about your butt cap. I take the paddle back and then look at my butt cap. I shine the flashlight forward. Notice by having my flashlight forward, that's going to ensure that my paddle butt cap is higher than the tip of my paddle. Or you can think, and this is the easiest way, you're just going to drop your paddle. All that a paddle drop is gravity. All you're doing is taking the paddle back and you're just dropping the paddle down. I'm taking the paddle back and I'm just dropping the paddle down. I'm not forcing it to go down. All I'm doing is paddle back, releasing my grip. By releasing my grip, it's automatically getting my paddle in the proper position. If you're more of a kinetic learner, what you can think is that the tip of your paddle is extremely weighted. As soon as you release, what is it going to do? It's going to fall down. So you're going to take the paddle back and then all you're going to do is drop the paddle. Again, you can think that you're petting the dog, butt cap's facing forward, or you can literally think that's weighted and you're just going down. Now we're in step number 2, which is the drop. So I'm going to take the paddle back and then I'm going to drop it down. Now, why do we want to drop? Players don't drop and they can't hit topspin, they can't hit a good shot, they can't hit shape on the ball because they're making contact at the ball or coming down on the ball. That's going to get it in the net. A normal shot, I'm down in here, I just swing upward or I swing forward, ball's not good. Now when I take the paddle back and I drop, now look, my paddle's below the ball prior to contact. Now I swing forward and I follow through, I'm brushing up the back of the ball during and after contact. I'm lifting the ball, I'm getting under the ball, and by doing this low to high on the ball, what's that going to create? That's going to create topspin. Again, where players go wrong and they have a death grip as well, and if you have a death grip, it's never going to work. They take the paddle back super tight and then they swing forward. I need to take the paddle back, I need to be loose and drop the paddle downward, and now I'm able to lift the ball upward. I want you to notice how high I hit that ball, and if you hit height on your returns, what does the server have to do? They have to let the ball bounce and you keep them deep. If you play with height, you will be all right. By getting under the ball, it's going to be more reliable, more consistent, more spin, and more control, and you're going to be able to hit a better forehand. Now, this is a difficult concept to learn. So what I want you to do is literally break it down step by step. Take back, and then you're going to drop the paddle. You're going to start with the paddle dropped, then you're going to bounce the ball, or you're going to get fed the ball and hit. Take back, drop the paddle, then you're going to let the ball bounce, and then you're going to hit. You're going to start with your paddle drop. So you're not going to just start down here, but you're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And remember what we worked on at the start of this video. Take it back with two hands. Feel the tension. Then we're dropping the paddle. That's 2. And then we're finishing over my shoulder. 2 hands, drop, and then we're finishing over my shoulder. And stay tuned with that 2 hands, 1. I'm going to teach you a huge hack later in this video that's going to completely simplify it. But remember, we have to crawl before we walk. Now, when we drop the ball, when we lift the ball up, when we get under the ball, what I really want you to think is that you're getting up the back of the ball and then you're swinging forward. I'm making a C, top of the C, bottom of the C, and then I'm finishing forward. What I want to do is now what we're going to work on is proper contact. After you drop, now it's time to make contact, and we want to make sure that we're making contact out in front and away from your body. So this is how you find yourself in pickleball for your forehand. This is how you know your exact proper strike zone and how you can ensure that you're making contact out in front and away from your body on every single one of your shots. All you're going to do is you're going to throw the ball up, and then you're going to catch it with your non-dominant hand. You can throw it close to you and catch it with your non-dominant hand. You can throw it far away from you and catch it with your non-dominant hand. Just work on tossing it at different places and working on just really catching it out there. Now, notice I can catch the ball like this or anything like that. The goal is to make sure that my arm's extended and I'm catching it. 12 o'clock here, 6 o'clock back here, my hand is about 1.5 o'clock. I'm tossing the ball up and then working on positioning my body. Now look, wherever I get my hand, that's exactly where I want to make contact. So a great drill again to do. Toss the ball up in there or have someone feed the ball, and all you're going to do is you're going to toss it up and you're going to catch. Then you're going to toss it up, you're going to catch, drop, and hit it, and then you're going to toss it up, and then you're going to pretend that you're going to catch and hit it last minute. So again, number 1, you're going to catch. Number 2, you're going to catch and then drop. Number 3, you're going to pretend that you're going to catch and then you're going to hit. By doing this over and over again, it's going to teach yourself to line the shot up with your non-dominant hand prior to you making contact with your forehand. Again, what you're going to think is right before, you're going to get your hand to it, and then you're going to make contact. This is going to help you if you have short balls. You're going to move up to catch it. If you have high balls, you're going to move back to catch it. If you have balls over here, you're going to move over here. If you have balls over here and you want to hit a forehand, you're going to move over here. That's going to get you the exact spacing and proper contact on every single one of your pickleball shots. Your non-dominant hand for the 2-1-2. 2 for the rotation and ensure that both your bodies together. 1 to ensure that your guide GPS, you're making contact at the exact proper place. And then 2, you're going to make sure that you follow through. So start working on finding your forehand by using your non-dominant hand. Do tons and tons of reps on, again, just throwing it up in the air, pretending that you're going to catching, dropping, or actually catching, and just work on getting it there, and that's going to help you a ton. Now, when we do this, now it's kind of all, how do we time all this stuff? So number 1, we have take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Number 2, we have 2 hands, 1 hand, 2 hand. How do we do that in sync? And the goal is to break it down. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to hit such a good ball compared to before when you were doing something else. It's going to win your muscle memory over. You're going to go, wow, guess what? I can hit twice as big of a ball without doing half the amount of work. You're never going to want to go back again. Once you see an easier way as a human being, and it's an ethical, proper way, you're never going to go back to that old way. It's like making money online. You can't go back to doing something, right? Teaching pickleball lessons. You got to make YouTube videos to make some money, right? Check out my new subscriptions. Members get new perks. I have to release it. But getting back to it though, what we're going to do is we're going to say it out loud. So number 1, you can think 2, 1, 2. Or you can think take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through. Notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm breaking it down into parts. Then once I get it, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once I really get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The thing is, if you're watching this video, you probably do 3 out of the 5, maybe 2 out of 5, maybe even 4 out of the 5 steps that we've went over. So what I like to do is if you struggle with one step, that is what you say out loud. So if I struggle with my follow through, I'm going to think, take back, drop, follow through. That was horrible. Follow through. Or maybe I don't get my non-dominant hand involved. Then what am I going to think? 2 hands, or turn with 2 hands, and then catch. 2 hands and catch. Maybe I don't drop the paddle, so I'm going to think back, drop, and hit. Back, drop, and hit. By giving you certain things to say, by finding out what you need to work on, by saying it out loud, it's going to teach your muscle memory, it's going to make it relevant, it's going to ensure that you follow that and what you're doing. Now, when you take the forehand, wherever you want to go, the best way to aim is wherever you point your body, follow through, and momentum, the ball is going to go. Now, because we're playing pickleball, The goal is to get to the kitchen. The best way to get to the kitchen is to use your momentum into your shot. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to hit your forehand, wait, and then move up. I want you to hit and move up at the same time. So every single time from now on when you're hitting a forehand, you're moving up when you hit. You're not waiting for the ball. As soon as I see that's a forehand, I'm turning and taking my paddle back. I'm then moving up and then I'm hitting. I'm always moving forward, and also before I go to the ball, I'm taking my paddle back. Too many players, they go wrong. They can't hit a good forehand because the ball's over here. They're moving and then they take their paddle back and they get late. Before you even go to the ball, you take your paddle back, then you go to the ball and then you hit. You do not move until what? Your paddle's back with your two hands and then your hands out. So I would work on having someone feed me the ball to the side, paddle back two hands, and then catch it, pretend to catch it, and then hit. Again, I'm not moving to it and then going. I'm taking my paddle back with two hands, then I'm moving to the ball, and then I'm hitting it forward. Now, with accuracy, wherever I point my arm and my body to and my momentum to, the ball is going to go. So if I want to go to down the line, all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit and make sure my follow through and momentum is down the line. If I want to go cross court, all I'm going to do is hit and make sure my momentum and everything is cross court. If I want to go over here, I'm going to hit and make sure everything is following over here. If you want to take the ball cross court, you can hit the ball a little bit earlier. If you want to take the ball down the line, you can wait a little bit later. I want you to think, the earlier I take the ball out in front, look, the more I'm out in front, the more I'm coming across my body. The later I let the ball get to me, the more I'm swinging forward. I want you to think, essentially every ball is going to go cross court. Why? Because you're following through over your shoulder. If I follow through over this way, maybe it'll go down the line, but I'm automatically, naturally going cross court. So if I swing earlier, my swing's more finishing the forward swing path and then going over my shoulder, that's going to pull it cross court. If I take the ball later, closer to my body, that's still with the forward swing path before I get into the over the shoulder swing path. So again, if you wait a split second longer, it'll be easier to go down the line. If you take the ball more out in front, that's going to help you go cross court. So think about timing, and then also think again about your momentum. After you finish, pretend that there's a beam shining out of your hips or your head or your chest, and your body should be pointing directly where you want to hit. So if I hit that ball, I'd go over here. Again, if I want to go down the line, I'm going to finish and everything's going to be over here. Wherever I point my body to, the ball is going to go. Now, when you hit these types of forehands, there's essentially two types of forehands that you can hit. Number one is the open stance, and number two is a closed stance. So open stance is when I'm going out wide like this, and then closed stance is when I'm stepping into the ball and hitting. Now, they're semi-open, all that good stuff, but essentially, you're either not going to step or you're going to step. We didn't get into this until later because too many players go wrong. They think, oh, well, I don't have to step. I don't have to go through the proper swing path, don't have to rotate, and I don't have to hit a good ball. You still need to make sure, again, you fully turn. When you hit open stance, you kind of want to hit open stance when you're in singles or whenever you get pulled out wide, because I can use my outside foot to get back into the middle of the court. Essentially, if you're ever playing doubles in pickleball, if you ever have time in pickleball, if you ever hit a ball that's inside the court, you always want to step forward and do closed stance and then go. Where too many players go wrong is that they'll get a short ball here and they don't hit open, or they hit open stance not strategically, but because they're lazy, and they go here and then the ball is going to go long. Again, anytime the ball's up inside the court, use closed stance. Anytime you need to save time or playing singles probably, when you're going out wide lateral, do open. Linear, do closed. And that will help you a ton. Now, next thing that you need to do is after we do all this, you need to make sure that you let your brand new technique do the work and you keep your body concise. Before you didn't watch this video, before you watch this video, you had to do all these different things to try to get the ball in. Maybe you had to veer off to the left. Maybe you had to slow your swing down. Maybe you had to do all these crazy things. Now, it's like, guess what? You let your practice and all the work that you do, you let your success do the talking. You let your preparation do the talking. You need to let your technique do the talking. You don't need to force the ball in anymore. You don't need to hope that the ball is going to go in. You need to keep your body down and controlled and let your new swing path and your new rotation do the work. So when you hit, what I don't want you to do is I want you to hit and pick your head up to see where the ball is going. You know that the ball is going to go in. I want you to hit and be off balanced and fall over. The only place that you want your momentum to be is forward when you hit. Once again, when you hit this new forehand, the only place that you want all of your momentum to be is forward when you hit. You don't want to be falling to the left. You don't want to be falling to the right. You don't want to start your new shot before you finish. We said that in the beginning of the video. And most importantly, you don't want to pick your head up. You want to keep your body down, controlled, compact, and concise. And we're going to show you right now drills on exactly how to do that. Let's go. So a great way to ensure that you're controlled and concise with your new forehand is to pretend that there's a glass of water on top of your head. When you hit, you want to balance that glass of water. Then clearly we're moving forward, but look, I'm balancing. Another way to think of it is think that you're the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. We just beat the Vikings. I know everyone was freaking out that we weren't going to win. We just have to get our team together, go Birds, two-peat, then three-peat. But when we hit, you're Cooper DeJean making a tackle and you're going like this into them. You're not hitting and you're falling over. If you tackle someone and you fall to the side, you're going to get flattened out like a pancake. So make sure when you hit, you keep your body down and your head forward like you're tackling someone. A great way to do this is by dropping your center of gravity, staying under the ceiling. Pretend there's a ceiling here. I'm staying under the ceiling. If I pop up, what's going to happen? The ball's going to go up and I'm going to be out of control. So drop my center of gravity, stay down throughout my shot, and that's going to help you a ton. Now, the next thing that you can do is shorten up your swing. As we get it, it's kind of funny. First, we start out when you're playing pickleball and we just hope to get the ball over. Then we make the swing kind of bigger because we're going through all the steps. Then if you want to take your game to the next level and get to 5-0, 5-5, 6-0 plus, what are you going to do? Instead of making this giant swing, you're going to start shortening up your swing. So notice I'm still doing all the steps, take back, drop, contact, extension, follow through, but I'm making it shorter. Why am I making it shorter? Because by making it shorter, number one, I have more or less time, right? So if I make it shorter, I have more time. But number two, I can disguise. So if I can make it shorter, my swing, a lot of players can tell if I'm going to drive or if I'm going to drop the ball. But if I'm able to make it shorter, now I can either drive the ball or drop the ball. So I can wait till last second to either hit a drive or a drop and keep my opponents on my toes. If you can start making it shorter as you get more advanced, but by keeping the same proper technique, that's how you're going to hit. But make sure you grow the tree first before you make it a bonsai tree, a small tree, right? You can't just make it a small tree. You got to spend years and years of work. You got to grow before you get small. I don't think they turn big trees into bonsai trees, but you get what I'm saying. Make sure you got all this. I'd rather have you get all this first than try to do all this and not have good technique. Now, number one thing that you have to do is you have to make sure you commit and you accelerate. Acceleration and rotation equals power of consistency, control, nirvana. I'm thinking about trees, nirvana, Buddhism, why not? I don't know, it's just going through my head. So when we hit, what I want to make sure I do is I don't slow my paddle down. You need to swing and commit to every single one of your shots. Now, before you weren't able to commit because you didn't have the proper technique and you wanted to keep the ball in. Now, because you have the proper technique, you can commit to your shots and you can swing. Now, because you swing, that doesn't mean that you're hitting every single ball 100%. You can still hit a slower ball, but you can hit more spin. And how do we hit a slower ball without slowing down our paddle speed? It's very simple. Instead of going through the ball, getting a lot of ball, I'm going to brush up the back of the ball and get a tiny bit. So again, I'm keeping the same swing, but look at the difference between this ball and this ball. The difference is that one is more slower, the one has more shape, the one has more topspin, but I'm brushing up the back of the ball rather than hitting through it. So essentially, you still need to commit throughout every single one of your shots. However, you're just going to get the back of the ball rather than going all through it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys follow this video, you will be able to take your forehand third shot drive to the next level. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. Have a good one, happy hitting, and we will see you guys next time on court.